On this video, we're going to go through the practice questions using the full method where we multiply binomials, and we're also going to look at a distance question. So let's begin with number 1. The expression 5y plus 2 times y minus 3 is equivalent to, so what we want to do is we want to take these binomials and multiply them together. So we have the 5y plus 2, y minus 3. I'm going to multiply 5y times y. I'll just go ahead and write each of these out. Then I'm going to multiply 5y times a negative 3. Then we'll do the 2 plus 2 times y. And then the 2 times the negative 3. Let's multiply, and 5y times y gives us 5y squared minus 15y plus 2y minus 6. Let's combine like terms, and we just have the 5y squared. We've got 2y terms, a minus 15y plus 2y. That gives us minus 13y, and then minus 6. And that corresponds to answer choice D. Number 2 says for all x, 3x plus 5, that entire quantity squared is equal to what? So there are shortcuts that you can, looking at squaring a sum or squaring a difference, and that's great if you can remember that. If you can't, all we have to do is write out our 3x plus 5 times 3x plus 5. And then we're going to use the same technique as we did before. 3x times 3x gives us 9x squared. 3x times 5 is plus 15x. 5 times 3x is another 15x. And plus 5 times 5 is 25. Combine like terms, and we're basically going to have just here in the middle combined. That will give us 30x plus 25. So that corresponds to answer choice K. Number 3 is going to be a little bit of geometry in addition to using this method of multiplying binomials. If the length of a rectangular garden is 2 feet less than the length of a house, and the width of the garden is 5 feet less than half the length of the house, what is the expression for the area of the garden? And we're also having to take words and make an expression for that. And if you'll notice from our answer choices, we have x square term, an x term, and then a constant. Looks like what's going to be in our final answer. And so when we're looking at this, we need to remember we're looking for area, and it says of a rectangular garden. The area of a rectangle is length times width. So those are the two terms we're going to multiply together. And in the first part of the sentence, it gives us if the length of the garden, so length is equal to 2 feet less than the length of a house. So it looks like the length of the house is going to be our unknown variable, and based on the variable that we use in the answer choices, it's going to be x. So the length of the house is x, and we know that the length of the garden is 2 feet less than the length of the house, so that equates to x minus 2. 2 feet less than the length of the house, and the width of the garden is 5 feet less than half the length of the house. So half the length of the house minus 5. 5 feet less than that. That's what the width is. So now we're going to take each of our terms for length and width, x minus 2, and we'll multiply that times 1/2 x minus 5. Looks like I'm using the 1/2, and I also notice in my answer choice we're using decimals. So I may turn that 1/2 into 0.5x. So we can see what we're working with there. So now we're going to multiply the first times first. So 0.5 times x, 0.5x times x gives us 0.5x squared. X times a negative 5 is negative 5x. Negative 2 times 0.5x, that's going to be a negative 1x. 2 times 0.5. Negative 2 times negative 5 gives us a plus 10. So we're going to combine like terms here with these middle terms. We still have 0.5x squared minus 6x, negative 5, negative 1, plus 10. And that is, let's see, answer choice 0.5x squared minus 6x plus 10. That is answer choice A. And remember, along the way, as you were combining like terms and multiplying, we could have been looking at our answer choice and eliminating some things. When we got the 0.5x squared, we would have eliminated D and E and only been working with A, B, and C. And then we would have also seen with a middle term of 6x, a negative 6x, that eliminated B and C, and then that would just leave us with answer choice A. So that is another way that you could have worked the question just a little bit faster, not having to work it to completion, but working, checking your answer. And the more you practice, you'll be able to do things like that. Now let's look at number 4, which is a distance question. What is the length in coordinate units of the line segment with endpoints negative 6, 2 and 3, 1 in the standard XY coordinate plane? So we're looking for this length of the line segment. That is a keyword for distance. We're wanting to know how long it is. We have 2 points, and we have an equation for distance formula. Remember, it's the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And we can just plug in our numbers. This is like x1 and y1. And this is x2 and y2, and it doesn't matter which is x, which is the 1, which is 2. Just keep your x and y together and be consistent here. So we're going to plug that in. The square root, we'll say 3 minus a minus 6 squared. Really watch our negative signs here. Plus, now let's do the y's, 1 minus 2 squared. Let's simplify under the radical. We have a 3 minus a minus 6. That's the same as 3 plus 6 squared. And then we still have the 1 minus 2 squared. 3 plus 6 is 9, so 9 squared plus 1 minus 2 squared is a negative 1 squared. And we have the square root of 9 squared is 81. A negative 1 squared is just 1. So we have the square root of 82. Now before I start thinking, can I simplify this? Let's look at our answer choices, and we see that J is the square root of 82. And so that is our answer.